Hi friends, this is my second edition in dealing with office politics. How to deal with office politics? An estimated three-quarters of employees say their boss is the most stressful part of their job, while a third dread going to work because of colleagues. Here is how to cope up. From backstabbing bosses to co-workers who try to sabotage your work, relationships, power are tightly knit in the workplace. Many of us will be affected by office politics at some point. A third of workers start going into work because of their colleagues, while it is estimated that 3 in 4 employees find their boss the most stressful part of their job. So, if you are dealing with a particularly slow co-workers, how can you manage the situation? Here you have 3 things to convey. Make friends. To fix a toxic work culture, you need to get involved. Studies show that when people feel they don't belong into a group, their physical health and well-being could be like plummets. So if you are feeling isolated or excluded by negative office politics, it makes sense to try to make friends. If one person at work is the main source of conflict, the best way to deal with them is to unite with your co-workers. Grouping against a bully will provide victims with the support for their feelings, since victims of bullies are at risk of becoming isolated. Through joining together and discussing the bully's behavior, co-workers can contain the bully, who, with their behavior exposed, loses the power to terrorize and faces the threat of isolation. This strategy also works with the game-playing colleagues. People with bullying tendencies often try to isolate victims. So, the more people you have on your side, the less likely you are to be taken advantage of at work. Document your time. When you are subject to colleagues' political tactics, such as taking credit of your work, it is important not to retaliate. It is tempting to expose the co-worker or boss in front of others, but this can backfire. You need to be cleverer than that. Make sure you document your work thoroughly and let co-workers and your bosses, superiors know what you are doing and have done. This protects your reputation. If your work ethic is called into question by colleagues, you then have a way to prove your productivity. Next, second one, don't sink into their level. When colleagues try to make you look bad or undermine you, it is tempting to do likewise. However, this can backfire. You may come across as petty, as unlikely to change your boss or co-worker's behavior. A better way to deal with a difficult colleague is to ask them for a private conversation. Calmly ask them why they acted, how they did, rather than accusing them. This is often the best way to change behavior, as it requires them to reflect on their actions. Third one, change the culture from within. Office politics should be looked at as something that can be reframed into a positive. You should work to contribute to a culture at your company that values people, discourages abusing people in any form. The best way to do this is to praise others, encourage teamwork, and be empathetic to your co-workers. By making an effort to change the culture to one of kindness and honesty, you can create a better environment for everyone. And at last, go it alone. For some people, the effort of attempting to navigate and even change poor office politics is too much of an uphill battle. If you try the tips above that what I have covered and still find your office is a nightmare, there's a simpler option. Ditch the co-workers entirely by working for yourself. Thank you. So I need to thank Charlotte Seger too.